Welcome back to Tied Up with the Morgans. Today it's me and got a little guest appearance. Gonna say hi? Hunter. We are at my parents' house and we got something cool right here. There are 50 white pine and 50 white pine. So there's 100 white pine here. These were they're 3-year seedlings. They're supposed to be 8 to 12 inches. And they're definitely bigger than 8 to 12 inches. They're pretty big. So I'm excited about that. We're gonna see how many I can plant and fence in, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's what we got right now. Showed you the trees. I gotta take the BX down. I gotta grab some stakes. We got some kind of stickers that we use, but we're gonna use those for stakes. We got a bunch of them. I gotta cut them up, and then we're gonna head out. And I got a dibble bar, which helps a lot for planting these. Bare root. They're bare root trees, so they're real quick. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. All right, we got about 100 stakes here. I'm gonna take this back up to the house. But it is a beautiful day. It's finally drying up. Today's the second day it hasn't rained, so it's perfect. 66 degrees. Alright, what I'm doing now is I'm just cutting the ends off of these just to make them easier so they go into the ground a little easier here. I know there's better ways to do this, ways to make this, a better point, but I'm really just going right now for quantity more so than I guess quality. And it's not really going to be difficult to drive this into the ground, so the ground's wet enough right now. I just need a little more of a point than the flat end. So that's what I'm going for right now. I got a circular saw here. I have the blade going at an angle, as you can tell, and just doing a few at a time, and it's going pretty quick. So I'm putting the ones that are ready here in the side by side, and then I'll probably only do 50 right now. And then we'll kind of take everything out there and we'll see how fast this goes or how slow it goes, and then I can cut them more as needed. But I'll be happy if I can get 50 planted and caged today. Something I forgot to mention, these are sitting, as you can tell, in water. Now the reason for that, we ordered these from Chief River Nursery. Had a really good price. They're a really good nursery. I've heard a lot of good things about them. They're based in Wisconsin. And the reason they're in the water is when you get them, they say to soak them in water for 6 to 8 hours before planting. And so that's right, we're right around that window right now. So we have them soaking. They say if it's going to be longer than that, meaning like you can't plant them sooner than within 36 hours of getting them, they say to not completely soak it in water like these roots are now, but to get either like shredded paper or peat moss and cover the roots in that, and then add a bunch of water. Keep them real nice and wet, but not completely submerged like this. Like right now it's just water in here. But if we weren't able to plant these, then we would have done the peat moss or shredded paper, cover the roots so they stay wet until you can plant them. But because we can plant them, that's what we're going to do. So yeah, they just are sitting in the water right now, and then we're going to go put them in the ground. But the battery died on the circular saw, so I'm changing that out, and I was grabbing another battery, and that's why I'm here doing this. So we're going to get back to cutting those ends off. Alright. For starters, I got 50 of these cut up. I put this box here. I was trying to think ahead, I'm like, I won't have to pick up all of these end pieces. Well, I caught maybe 15. The rest are on the ground, so I am going to have to pick them up. But that's alright. Alright, we are going to head out to the mini cabin. Got some white pine. I got the stakes. I got the dibble bar. And I forgot the fencing. I'm going to get that right now. Okay, I got the fencing now and the stapler, so now we're ready to go. Everything's really turning green fast. Yeah, mini cabin. Alright, we're going to be going out here past the mini cabin. We used to have a feeder right in here. Check out this cherry, right? It's a nice sized cherry. And then we got this other maple one that's growing off of this thing. Over top of it. Yeah, that's a nice cherry. I mean, not straight at all, but good size. I forgot the string trimmer. I'm going to need that to get rid of some multiflora rows and a few other things. If you can see, here's the mini cabin right there. This is a nice area. It's cleared out, you know, not a whole lot of trees or brush. We're going to be planting these throughout this hillside and kind of around here. This is south facing, so it gets plenty of sun, and there really aren't a lot of trees. I mean, it might look like it, but most of these are just smaller cherry. So a lot of sun comes through. You know, some other spots that were in our on the property, it's much more shaded, but in here there's really not a very strong canopy, as you can tell. When you get around those oaks or more like the maples or a lot of the other hardwoods, hickories, whatever it is, it's much denser canopy, but this one's pretty open, as you can tell, so I think these pines will do well. And over in here as well. All right, it's going pretty quick. Honestly, the hardest part is just finding a good spot to put the tree, because it's a big area. I mean, 100's a lot of trees, but I'm also trying to put it somewhere where it's not going to be, where there's not too big of a tree canopy above it or anything like that, where it's going to have good sun. And it goes pretty quick with this dibble bar, though. Honestly, these seedlings are a little big. They're bigger than they were supposed to be, and I was excited about that, but I think these are about the peak for this size of the dibble bar. Anything bigger can kind of be a little difficult. You see these roots get pretty long, and you can always trim the roots if you need to, which I might have to cut that one. That one's really long, and it'll bounce back no problem. But the way this dibble bar works, I just want to show you here. So let me just clear out a spot first so we can see what we're digging. And okay, so I'm gonna do this with one hand. I'm gonna go in. Okay. So rock it back and forth. Get a nice little opening there. Okay. I had to trim that one big root. So anyways, we have our opening, and then we lay the tree down kind of like this. So right above here, right here is where the root flare is. I want to have that not buried. So this is kind of going to be what I'm going to keep from here up, is going to stay above the soil. So I just lay it down like that. Now I'm going to take the dibble bar and go in right here. And then I'm going to push that way. So it's going to push this back in. And then what I'll do is I'll walk around the tree and compact everything with my feet. And it'll be nice and straight, nice and compact. Yeah. Push it in. Now take the tree, and sorry, this light pretty harsh, so. Yeah, it's real extremes with the light. It's either really dark with my shadow or really bright, so if you can see. And yeah, there you have it. Right here, I got a nice hole. We're gonna throw this in. Actually, got to trim some roots on this one. Excuse me. All right, got the tree in. Just pull some of this grass out. You just want to stand it up. And there you have it. Alright, it's a new day. Yesterday I was able to put in 10 trees, which isn't a lot. And the planting the tree wasn't the problem. It was just finding the best spot, clearing out brush, things like that, and then working with the chicken wire. That's just a little difficult. So the tree planting, all that's real quick with the double. I could have put in all 100 trees if I had a big field or something like that, you know, but because I'm working in the woods, there's a lot of brush, a lot of things like that I got to work around and remove, so that slows me down quite a bit. But I also didn't have a whole lot of time, so it's now 8 in the morning the next day, so we're gonna head out and see how many trees I can get in the ground today. Hopefully I can get them all planted. We'll see. Lighting is a whole lot better now that it's this morning as opposed to doing this, you know, later in the day. But here's what we're going with. And there's I didn't get to stake all of them, but yeah, I'm excited for these. I love white pines, and really throughout this whole hillside I'd like to get a bunch in here and kind of along this hillside over here and down here. Beautiful morning. It was 37 this morning. This is such a nice area. Probably plant a few on top of this. I mean, I already did here, and maybe more out that way, maybe a couple in here. But yeah, it was 37 this morning, I think. It's actually now up to like 46, so warming up. The only other thing I'm going to get is some landscaping stakes, or staples, sorry, to just pin this down around. But this is by far the hardest part for one person, unless there's a trick I don't know about, which maybe I should look that up. Maybe there's a trick for handling this. Because it's rolled up, it's so tight, the second I try to unroll it, it just wants to go back into, it wants to roll up again. So it's not easy. found something cool I want to show you. I believe this one is called just a common tortoise. Really cool shell though. Just clearing a spot to put a tree right around here, and a lot of these leaves and stuff he was kind of buried under there. I really love the way the trees, all the leaves look so different this time of year. I'm actually not too sure what this tree is. I'll find out though. But like the way the leaves start to bloom. This here is a shag bark hickory. But they look really cool. I always like them, the way these leaves come out. There you can see a little better. And then that's going to split open into a bunch of leaves. I wanted to come back to this tree. I was pretty certain it looks a lot like a dogwood. The bark on it is very similar to the flowering dogwoods. You can't see, it's kind of a little dark, and the leaves look similar. But I didn't think it was because there was no bloom, but that could be because it's just a younger tree, clearly. But looking into it more, I believe this is called a round-leaved dogwood. So it's going to look a little different than the flowering dogwoods everyone's used to. Like, I don't know if you can see it over there, there's one. But yeah, so that's what this is. And it's a native tree, so it's always nice to find native trees around here. I mean, everything's native, but what I mean by that is young native trees like this, because you know, there's so many dominant trees, and there's also lots of competition for different things like this. Like, I believe this is an invasive barberry bush, and so there's a lot of invasives that just take over. So it's always nice to see when the natives can find a way. So I'm going to try to set this up here so I can show you how I dig these, right? Yesterday was pretty bright, but it's going really well today. So let me see if I can prop the camera up. Alright, I got a good camera angle now, so I'm going to show you how this goes. So I'm going to insert the dibble right here. I'm on a hill, so my balance is a little off. You can't really see that. So I got it in nice and deep. And really, you want to be as deep as your roots are. So if I had younger seedlings with not as deep roots, I wouldn't have gone that deep. And then the next step is not losing your tree. So here's my tree. I am going to have to trim these just a tad bit. So you see on these roots can get pretty long, which obviously that's going to happen, but I'm just going to trim a couple of them because that'll just make it easier, so they're not going to get root bound, not going to be any girdling. I don't like to do that, but these are pretty long, some of them. Some of them are really long. And I think it's that they just, my guess is that, you know, these things started to grow already. Because they're supposed to be 3 year, they're supposed to be like 8 to 12 inches. And like I said, a lot of these are bigger than that. Okay, so anyways, I'm kind of rambling. So you want to get rid of any other excess roots that might be in the way. Then you're going to just stick this in here. I like to just guide the roots in. Because it's a nice deep hole, I can push it down and then pull it back up so the roots will not be pointed upwards. And then you lay it at an angle like that. Let me move this stick, sorry. Okay. I'm going to come over to this side and just put this in a few inches ahead. Press in. And then we're going to straighten this tree out. Use our feet a lot. And that's it. Ideally, I probably should have made that hole a little further down because I cleared everything out above there, but I'm not even sure if that's in focus, so there it is. All right, I got 50 trees planted so far. The other 50 are at the house. I haven't been able to fence them yet. That takes really long. But really, it's taken me quite a while. If this were an open field, you know, and you had a field that it didn't have any of this brush in there or all the other trees to work around, it'd be real easy. I mean, you could do hundreds in a day, really. You could really knock them out. But in the setting that I'm in right now, it's just not ideal to crank them out fast. It's just taken me a while, but we're getting it done. So like I said, I got 50 planted, got 50 more to plant. We're gonna see how many I can get done today. Definitely not gonna get them all done. Got a lot to do at my house today as well, and errands to run and stuff. So we're not gonna get them all done, but we will see how many we can get in the ground. And then maybe I can get a hand, or not even that, maybe just find a better way to work with that chicken wire, that fencing that we got right here. Because it is not an easy task. I mean, it's just because it's not very thick, right? It's strong and it's galvanized, so that helps. It's not going to rust or anything, but it's kind of flimsy, you know. So, or it's not heavy duty. It's light, right? You're not going to break it or anything, but it bends, and it's very difficult because it's rolled up, right? So as soon as you unroll it, it wants to roll up again. So that's the dilemma I have right now. Got to figure something out. All right. So anyways, I'd rather get these all on the ground now before they. I don't want them out of the ground too long, you know, because we just got them a couple days ago now. So I want to plant these as soon as I can, and then worry about the fencing. The good thing is, if it were winter, I'd be in trouble. But the good thing is, there's so much for the deer, for the squirrels, for, you know, mice, rabbits, for everything to eat right now that the white pine is not it's not their top priority. You know, it's not the best tasting from what I've read. They're gonna go for everything else first, pretty much. So that helps. I'm not as worried right now. I think that buys me a couple days. So I hope I'm right. Nothing bothered the trees I planted yesterday, so we'll see. But yeah, I'd like to get them all planted and then worry about fencing them all. But that's all I got for now. I'm gonna head back to the house, get the rest of the trees, and maybe grab some lunch. But see what we get into. All right, guys. Well, I got about, I believe, 65 trees planted. So I'm almost there. I gotta get going though. We got some errands to run. I gotta get home and do some work. So that's it for today. But yeah, really what took the most time was just clearing out each spot because of, you know, a lot of things growing up in the, you know, a lot of invasive plants, a lot of just brush, stuff like that. And also just, you know, getting any grass or anything out of the way. So that's what took the most time, that and finding a spot, you know. But yeah, I'm excited. So we got 65 planted, and I got I think 35 left, or yeah, 35 left. No, 25, because I planted 10 yesterday. So we're almost done planting them. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please leave it below. Thanks for all your comments, all your support. But I think that's it for today. I feel like I'm missing something, but I think that is everything for today. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.